Mera Khairutan, and a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning. Alongside my very well-learned colleague who happens to be Miss Hajra Satti. I happen to be Shahzad Hasan Khan, and we hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. But first things first, hello Hajra, assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much for introducing me. So today happens to be 31st of July 2024, and it also happens to be the same date as our mother of the nation Fatima Jinnah shared, because today is her birth anniversary. She was not just the sister of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was the founder of Pakistan, but she was a rock stone. She stood with her brother, made sure that he was well looked after, and not just that, she had her own unique contribution towards the independence movement, and that is why I feel the role of Fatima Jinnah is very multifaceted, and we have yet to explore her personality, not just as the sister of the founder of the Pakistan, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, but also someone who led the resistance movement against the British, because the slogan was not just to quit and move, but also to divide and quit, and that is where she rallied, lobbied against the British, and she gathered all of the ladies of the Muslim leaders who were campaigning in the favor of Pakistan, and made sure that she had her own contribution towards the independence of her country. And that is why it's very important to see the unique role of how community building and the role of feminism goes hand in hand when we talk about the struggle of the leaders of the third world countries, and exploring the role of ladies in that freedom movement, because the role of ladies is inextricably linked with the role of their husbands, of their brothers, of the household men, and that is why it's very important that we commemorate this very brave lady who stood up. And she was not just a sister to Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, but she was also a dentist, a doctor, and no one can deny the importance of education that this particular household paid when she was growing up, being dentist in that age, when Muslims were particularly against the Western education because they believed that Western has subdued them, had colonized them, and that is why it is very much important that we commemorate this brilliant, beautiful lady. And I think we also have a series, a web series coming up with the name of Fatima Jinnah.
And one of our friends is actually directing it as well, Daniel, so best of luck as well. And not just that, I think this example has actually kind of stayed alive within our own country, where how, Muhtarma Benazir Bhutto Sahiba, the late Muhtarma Benazir Bhutto Sahiba was the Prime Minister of the country. Now Maryam Nawaz Sahiba, Alhamdulillah, happens to be the Chief Minister of Punjab. So ladies have always been playing a very pivotal role in the community building. Not just that, now, Hajra, how politics will always take advantage of the technology which is available, so we do see how there are online polls where how people will certainly be calling them to come out and vote and whatnot. True. So we have seen that the dynamics have changed. And that's exactly in particular that we will be discussing today as well, where how technology is playing role, so may it be artificial intelligence, may it be the Internet of Things, or may it be, a mechanical heart, so people imagine that, it will have many folds sort of impact on all of the industry.
That's an artificial heart, right?
Yes, that's an artificial heart, for all of those people thinking about a mechanical heart. Ladies and gentlemen, the first ever mechanical heart has actually been transplanted into a human as well, so kind of listening to this and reading this is something which I thought of as a miracle as well, because doctors from Baylor College of Medicine and Texas Heart Institute have implanted the Bivoca total artificial heart in a human for the first time. This advanced device is designed to replace a failing heart and mimic natural functions, offering a more reliable solution for patients with end-stage heart failure. And the successful procedure demonstrates the potential of the Bivoca heart to improve patient outcomes and survival rates. Wow. Now imagine that earlier you had to actually put your name down in a list as well, where then people will let you know whether a heart is available for you to get it or not. But with all of these technologies, what we do is, so we will always share that, okay, this technology has taken place, or, there's a mechanical heart out there which you can get. What we need to do is we need to follow the story, because we really need to see that the gentleman or the lady who's actually got the heart, did she survive or not?
That's a very important question, and thank you so much for bringing it on to there, because I do remember at the end of the last century there were efforts at cloning, right? And
Yep.
that was not a successful effort at all. And we've seen the person who had been cloned, they did not I would lead a healthy life, and after a few days they passed away. So like Shahzad mentioned, it's important to we see that how successful is this experiment. And I think with the passages of advancement in research and technology and what is happening with the artificial intelligence and with the healthcare, the advancement that is made in the healthcare, we will see that how these things unfold, and we are hoping that this is a successful.
Exactly. And Ajay, in addition to this, the sole reason why I said this was because, you know, I have come from a family of doctors. Alhamdulillah, majority of the people in my family is a doctor. And so I was having this conversation with my brother-in-law. He's an ENT surgeon, Dr. Usman Ahmed. You know, so imagine he said that, you know, that there was a trend where people were getting these, you know, face transplants as well, you know, that somebody else's face was actually being put onto somebody else, and, you know,
Oh, yes.
so, and everybody was going crazy about it. Hey, you know what, we need to get it done, you know, so whatever medicinal technology or jargon it may require, you know, I'm very sorry because I'm not a doctor, but imagine, unfortunately, 10, 12 people got it and all of them passed away. So everybody
Oh,
needs
yes.
to keep an eye on that. But while we are talking about technology, Internet of Things, you know, there was a conference which actually took place in Rifa University about emerging technologies. And to talk about that, to learn about it, ladies and gentlemen, we are very keen. We hope our audiences are keen as well. We are very lucky that we've been joined by somebody who happens to be Professor Inamullah Khan Saab, happens to be the founder, Artificial Intelligence, EYS, and an analyst as well. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum. How are you, young professor?
I'm perfectly fine. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to have you over here. You know, it's great to see such amazing, young, talented, budding people, you know, who happen to be founders of such amazing companies. You know, it's great. It's an honor to have you away. But first things first, let's ask you about the conference which took place in Rifa University. It was on emerging technologies, right?
Yeah, that's true. The conference was, I will say that it was a great success because like from previous years we was like doing lots of conferences, but this was a hybrid event, and like initially like the first day was physical, and it was totally like around 2-3 universities was in collaboration with us, like Rifa International and even Balochistan University and even Muhammad Ali Jinnah University Karachi, and even some of my friends from abroad as well, like from France, Canada. They participated properly, and I will say that around 21 speakers we was having, and we received around 200 plus research articles as well.
And can we explore what are the contents of that conference?
Yeah, the conference content was purely based on the emerging technology that we call it AGI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if we are going to shift towards the, if I say that AI will be stopped, then we'll be thinking towards AGI. So the one part of a conference was on AGI, that we call it artificial general intelligence.
Okay.
Okay.
And the another part was on IoT and robotics, and purely the second day was on drones. Because I'm purely specialized on AI and drones, so that's why the
So
most of the event was about
we will
that,
move
yeah.
on towards that as well.
Yeah.
Now, I think there are a couple of questions, but let's just focus on technologies first, then we'll move on to that. And that is that, you know, so there's artificial intelligence, there's AGI, you just spoke about it, then there's augmented reality, you know, then there's Internet of Things. Now, first of all,
True.
if you are to make us understand what artificial intelligence is in a layman jargon, how would you explain us? Professor Saab, please
Yeah, why
help
not?
us.
To be very honest, if I explain artificial intelligence in a very layman language, I will say that to understand a machine should understand in a much better way. Machine should think like a human, and if machine will think like a human, so how it will be trained and tested like that. So basically we are trying to train and test machine, robots and these things, so that we call it AI. But if we are talking only about AI, so I will purely give an example which I used to give a lot in my classes as well. Let's say if we are having a kid and
Yeah.
if he is in his house,
Yeah.
so there will be parents, they will be supervising him.
True.
So that we call it supervised learning.
Yeah.
So if I'm a teacher and I'm supervising some students and I'm guiding them, so that also comes in the category of supervised
yeah.
learning. I will name one of a famous algorithm, that is a decision tree. Even during my PhD I have worked on that as well. It was like that I will not go into details
Sure,
because
sure.
it's something like that, but like the main thing like entropy and information gain, like it's based on classification.
Yep.
Even I will say that if someone is interested to search a good lady or a woman for himself, so I will say, I will clearly say that this algorithm will find you the way to find an attractive girl for himself.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's a very interesting
Computer's the
development
best friend now, man.
and strides for the human civilization. But I think this brings us to a very important question, and that is that can artificial intelligence mimic human intelligence? And there's a lot of gloom and doom around, you know, the evolution of artificial intelligence. A lot has been written, and like Shahzad was discussing yesterday, there are lots of fiction, science fiction that is coming up that is projecting that how robots will overtake the humanity, and that is going to be an ultimate disaster. And I do believe that with every technology, there is a gloom and doom around it, right? People are not ready to accept that, right?
True.
And after some times, you know, it finds a mass acceptance. So is it a threatening for a human species? And as someone who specializes in this field, what are you going to say about it? Because we have to live with that, right?
If I talk about this question and if I will answer it, I will say it like this, that with every risk there will be many possibilities.
Okay.
So if we look towards AI, I know that it will many people's like the non-technical people, like so many people, I will say like the call centers and like so many people over there, they will lose their jobs quite easily.
Okay.
I will say that someone doing job through their hands, they might lose their job.
Yeah.
But the main thing over here is that if we shift towards these trending technologies, so we should aware ourselves in a much better way. We should train ourselves to the near future, that we should be on that phase. Because like right now in Pakistan, if I talk about, we are just talking about these
Yeah.
technologies.
That's what we
And
do usually.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
how can we train ourselves, you know, to I mean, cope up
Adopt.
with this emerging technologies?
I will simply say that right now the NAVTEC, National Vocational Technical Training Center, they have announced some sort of emerging technologies and some courses as well.
Okay.
And I will say that even sometimes if I'm having time, I also used to educate people about the AI, even AGI. Recently, I will say one thing, we all are talking about AI and especially about the ChatGPT and ChatGPT-4 and all of these things we are talking about. Just think about it, the Western people and like the developed countries are right now thinking about AGI. Right now over here, very less people know about AGI. It will, you guys can say that it will be the conscious level of that
And that's exactly
technology.
where people or humanity do get scared as well. But you don't have to be scared, because you know how I put it, very sorry, as a formula is that the mankind will continue to evolve. And as long as we are evolving, I do think that they're going to get smarter than us, number one. Number two, when we talk about artificial intelligence, there's not only one type of artificial intelligence. And you know what Hajra very rightfully asked, that you know that where are we headed on this and how can we learn? It's so rare to find universities actually offering courses where, or probably disciplines or degrees where you do a 4-year degree and that you become an expert at artificial intelligence as well, or AGI for that matter. What do you think, you know, as a professor, how universities need to play a role for us to be educated on that? Because we really need to pace up and kind of make sure that we kind of is in line with the protocols that have been followed by the developed countries, number two. And number three, you know, because you just spoke about it, that as a professor, you know, why don't you think that, you know, that you need to take an initiative where you, you know, kind of take advantage of the opportunity and let us learn about different sorts of artificial intelligences today?
Yeah, but to be very honest, like from last 10 to 11 years, I was like associated with many universities over here in Pakistan, and right now even currently I'm associated with one of the Spanish university, particularly about AI. I will say that they are not even training the techies over there. They are basically trying to guide the management professionals if they are going to move into the market, so then they should be specialized in AI. Why they are doing that? They are doing this for this particular purpose, that they should be trained. Once they will dive into the market, they will get job easily, because right now AI will be the everything, I will say, and it will be everywhere. In every sector of life you guys will see AI. Right now, in the start, you guys was talking about some healthcare stuff and all. So right now I will say that a new AI based stethoscope is introduced, and it is giving us a very good information about that. And let me tell and announce to the people about
And
the new keyboard as well.
And Professor Saab, we will talk about it because of the paucity of the time. So let's, I think, quickly touch upon the drone technology, because this is the emerging field, and we have seen that whenever the Western or the America, I would say particularly, introduces a technology that is for the defense purpose. If you see the evolution of internet, you will find that it was because they wanted to have a connectivity during the wars, and now it's extremely corporatized, commercialized. We can't imagine our lives without internet. So now let's talk about the drone technology. Initially it was for the defense purposes, right? But what is the scope of that? And after a certain time, how do you envision this technology will lead us to?
To be very honest, let me complete just one example. Like, I want to say about the new keyboard have announced. Microsoft have given something about a new keyboard. This is having a new button that is having an AI button. You guys can click on that and you guys can see lots of, like, if someone wants to write an email and like that. So many possibilities are coming with AI. So right now moving towards the drone and like some connected other technologies like IoT and these sort of things. With the developed countries, it's a challenge right now for us. But with the developed countries, they are moving quite well with these trending technologies, especially about drones and AI, because they are too much advanced right now. Like the way, if I talk about drones, so like they can easily pin target the person. It's too much easy for them. The swarm robots, the swarm drones. I will say that so many incidents happen over here in Pakistan, but I will say that we are far away from that swarm robot technologies, that swarm drone technology. If we will be having that technologies, we can utilize it over here. It's not that much expensive. It's affordable, I will say, and it can be happen in Pakistan as well. Regarding that, I will say that drone and AI, it must be secured. So for that purpose, I will say that recently I have written a book about cyber security for the next generation computing technologies. So I will talk about this particular book a little bit as well. This book is having lots of ideas about how to secure your data if the drone communication will be happening.
Pass it to us as well?
Yeah, sure. Why
If
not?
we can take a good look.
Right.
Thank you so much.
If we particularly talk about drone communication, if you guys are trying to communicate with each other through mobile phones, so right now we see that some sort of end-to-end connectivity is over there right now. On we see on a WhatsApp that it is end-to-end encrypted. Why it is encrypted? And right now I will talk about that as well. If I'm going to send a message to Hajra or even to Shahzada, I will say that it is encrypted in a form of key. We call that what in a technological way that either it will be an asymmetric key or symmetric key.
Okay.
So let's say if I send a message to you, so it will be having a key.
Okay.
So that key will be open once you are going to open that message. So it will be decrypted then.
Right.
So it is too much secure. So right now, even the drone communication, even any sort of a communication, I will talk about one of a recent incident happened over there in UK. It was a thing happened like some Russian hackers. They did what? They stole some data of one of a renowned hospital over there in King's College. I will say even I was also the alumni of King's College as well, and it was shocking for me that this sort of a hospital is like not that much secure or like that, but around 100 people data was stolen from that particular hospital, and it was a biggest threat. And they are right now investigating, like if we think like that, that right now the developed countries are trying to secure themselves from these sort of a cyber attacks, so it's a threat.
And obviously they have a lot of protocols which they put in place. They have standard operating procedures. You've spoken about it just yesterday as well. That gentleman actually told us what protocols are actually necessary to protect it. And yes, protection is really important, where we've spoken about clouds and how the data needs
Data
to be
safety,
protected, and how that one glitch actually led to 4,000 flights being cancelled as well. But thank you so much, Professor Saab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. And I think I'm going to wrap it up by saying that whatever technologies are coming in, we really need to make sure that we are on our toes in making sure that we learn. We have children who are learning it. We have people who are experts at it, so that we actually can protect ourselves as well. Because, you know, the old ideology is gone. I do not need to say any further on that as well. We need to learn. We need to be better at it. And we need to make sure that such technologies in future originate from our country, and that will take us further ahead. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually moving out towards a short break. Once you come back, other than these advanced technologies, we have some old issues to kind of cater to. What are those old issues? Let's talk about them. Good morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Really,
so much.
thank you so much.
And what are the particular mechanisms through which, if there is a harassment taking place, through which we can protect ourselves, and how much provision is there, and also me, of course, because we don't feel the the harassment is a gender specific concept, right?
Exactly. And Haja, in addition to this, you know, so very quickly, you know, I would certainly want to kind of speak to our audiences as well, where how we have seen a culture of leaked videos over here in our country, and this is a form of harassment anyways as well. How can anybody who unfortunately have to suffer from such a menace in their life, where people are blackmailing them or probably uploading their videos which really does not need to be seen, how can a people or a person protect themselves to kind of speak about it? And you know, we're sharing these pictures as well, because these pictures actually illustrate how or why or what sort of harassment is being done, and what do we actually call harassment. And to speak about it, we're very lucky that we've been joined by Ms. Asma Ali, who happens to be an advocate at High Court Islamabad. Assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you, madam?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. आज मुझे समझा दें कि क्या है harassment.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure that I'm here with you and your show. And first of all, the topic is as harassment of women in workplace.
And
so harassment, actually I want to make you sure that harassment is like the definition of specific harassment is the unlawful language, unlawful words, and to threat someone and to interfere
मैं
in
तुम्हें नौकरी से निकाल दूंगा.
yes,
ये harassment है.
exactly, and to interfere without the consent and without purpose.
Okay.
To someone's work or to someone's life.
So this is one way, you know, मैं तुम्हें नौकरी से निकाल दूंगा.
Yes.
And जानू जरा मेरे cabin में आना.
Exactly,
You know, things
exactly.
like that. And you know, asking for
this
favors.
actually happens when you refuse someone.
Okay,
When you someone asks you for favor
Undue
or
favors.
yes, undue favors, and then you refuse it, then he had some grudge inside him that him or him. It's not about the women's. Men are also harassed and children are also harassed. And if you refuse, then they had their inner ego and grudges, and they said that I will fire you from the work, I will stop your bonuses, I will stop you from the internships and trainings, etc., etc.
Won't let you get
Ms.
promoted.
Asma, I think we also need to explore that, yes, after this Me Too movement, and there's lots of discussion that has been generated on the workplace harassment, there are laws that protect us. And in the corporates, in the organization, they do have HR sections which particularly deal with, the committees which particularly deal with, you know, if there's a harassment, you can go out there. But I think practically, let's accept that HR department is always to protect the interest of the organization, not for the people who are working there, right?
True.
So if you go out there, let's also explore the influence of patriarchy in that organization,
exactly.
right? So like we were showing that in our visuals, that how a victim is shamed, right? Victim is blamed for that, and that is why a lot of people don't come out because of the taboo surrounding it, right? So are there any success cases when we talk about legal practices that have successfully able to, you know, unshackle all of these taboos and stereotypes that
there are, we have faced, if we look at the past or the history, there are many cases, and still there are, and in future maybe the ratio is high, because we can see that if a child that he need money, or he do a job in the part time after school time, and he is searching for some work in his factory, he is also harassed, and men are also harassed. Like in our, if we see in the rural areas, that the females they used to harass men's when and they used to harass the men, and they, as a revenge, they took the benefit of this, that we have protection rights, and we have the act against women's protection. So they personal revenge to take
And
the-
also let's take the example of the truck drivers, right? How they exploit the young boys out there. So
Yes.
harassment and gendered harassment is not a specific concept, right?
Exactly.
It encapsulates every aspect of the society.
Because
not
we have
only
seen
the truck
multiple
drivers
videos.
with the child conductors,
Molestations
or
coming.
yes, we have also the madrasas and the schools as well, and the child labor. If you hire someone, some child in your
Oh,
house
yes.
as a maid for, and he can be harassed.
Almost every household over in Islamabad will have a child,
Yes,
working for
yes,
them as well,
exactly.
unfortunately,
That
So I don't
unfortunately.
know whether they cannot find grown-up men, to work
Yes,
for
yes.
them, or women for that matter.
Yes.
And why children need to do that. I think people need to be educated on that. How do you think that the law protects us? And do you think that this is a lengthy process? If I'm going to go to and file a case and say that, I'm being harassed, how long will it take for the decision to come out? Do you think that it's feasible for any hard-working individual to kind of get into such a mess as well to get justice?
Yes, fortunately, we have laws, and we have a Pakistan Penal Code 509 PPC. It helps us and protect us against
How
harassment.
long does it take? For example,
And-
so today I go and I say that, my producer Hasnan has harassed me. For example, I'm giving an example, okay, Hasnan? So say if he's harassed me for whatever he has said to me, I go, I file a report, then it's going to go into the court. How long will the process
Yes,
be?
it depends on you that how immediate you report.
Okay, so if I
yes.
report today, till when do you think I will have to fight for it? I'll have to go to the court for hearings, for it to be kind of finalized that, okay, yaar, Hasnan Saab ne harassment
And
ki thi.
I think this brings us also to another important question, that is production of the evidence, right? So a lot
Yes.
of things that are happening in the verbal stances, you
Yes.
do not have the evidence
Yeah.
out there to produce it before the court of law,
Yes,
right?
as far as evidence is concerned, that for example, if we had a murder case, there are the investigation officers, they ask for several questions, and they can what weapon was used, and how far was the
Yeah.
and etc. etc. But in harassment, we don't have much evidences.
Sure.
The main thing is that I feel that if somebody is harassed, whether man, child and woman, anyone, that he should immediately report. And that condition, if someone is harassed, he or she or
Report where? To police station or to HR department?
it depends, like if you have a nearby police station, if you are nearby police station, you can immediately report to but the
And we have a helpline as well, right?
yes, online helplines, and also the committees. Every company has its committees and rooms and management administration. You should report them, and you should. But I think nowadays it's a modern era, and we have if somebody is harassed on mobile, that you straight away immediately say no to him
Or block them.
Yes, block them.
Yeah.
And this is the first and immediate and easy way. And practice say no to.
But the problem, madam, is when people start to take advantage of such acts which are available within penal codes. Now, imagine that somebody does not like you for whatever reason, they do not work with you, but they certainly want to create problems in your life. And this is one thing that we have seen how, unfortunately, even Ali Zafar has spoken about it, even though that he's won the case for himself, he says that, that it has dented my career. Now, imagine that for somebody falsely alleging somebody that they have harassed them, don't you think that we really need to kind of have a very smooth transition to knowing whether somebody has done it or not? Because there can't be any gray area in it, and it will have such implications on people that I have to say it begrudgingly that, I don't think that, people would only be doing that because, they were doing it actually or in reality.
Yes.
People are taking advantage of it.
Yes, taking advantage of it, and actually we have
Uska koi hal hai?
In Pakistan we have that women. There are solutions of this, but in Pakistan we have the women that or anyone that they feel shy about to report,
course.
and they feel shy and they do not report. And when the time's gone, and then they discuss with some friends, or but there is no limitation of.
But
that
there's
you can-
another way to look at it as well, and that is that, for example, you say that women feel shy, but now imagine that when a woman reports such an incident, they take action immediately, and nobody listens to the guy or to the man.
That's a very generalized statement. I
It's
wouldn't
not, because
generalize
this is
that.
something that we have seen happening to one of our team members as well. And if, God forbid, now you call a police station saying that I have been mischievous, you know, they're just going to
I
take
mean,
me.
you cannot underestimate the influence of patriarchy. Are there? I do not agree with this assertion at all that, you know, women's statement is taken more seriously as compared
Okay,
to
let's ask her.
male.
Let's ask her. She's in the court.
There are the ratio of men at workplaces low, because many men's are they are employed, and the ratio of employed women are low. So that's why the every department has their the committee rooms and their administration and their online desks, and we have the ombudsman as well. We can report to them directly. We have the police stations, and we can report to them. And the other thing is that if somebody is harassed and he came out from the room, it's not just an example, he came out from the room, he or she may be in a shock, and that shock, any person in a shock, he does not lie.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And he, if discuss with anyone, any friend, any colleague, then he is the
That's fine,
witness
but
of.
you know, this is not what my question was, because what me and Haja are disagreeing on, let me, you know, I'll have to ask her in Urdu as well. होता क्या है कि जब कोई औरत शिकायत करती है किसी पुलिस स्टेशन में, प्रॉम्प्ट एक्शन लिया जाता है और औरत की बात ज़्यादा सुनी जाती है हमारे माशरे में, रादर देन मर्द जो भी अपनी सफाई में कहना चाहता है वो नहीं सुना जाता उस वक्त.
Did that happen in Ali Zafar case?
वो एडवोकेट है
No,
ना, मैं इसलिए
no.
उनसे पूछूं कि कोर्ट में क्या होता है. लेट मी आस्क हर.
In a court, that as ombudsman, like I don't want to discuss the Ali Zafar or something
Yeah,
like
yeah, please.
that. Your question was that how long it takes.
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है आपसे कि बहुत सीरियसली लिया जाता है खवातीन की कंप्लेंट्स को.
Yes,
मर्द अपनी सफाई में जो
yes,
मर्जी
this
बोले
is
नहीं
because,
सुना जाता.
they use the power of the feminist. You
Okay,
may
yes,
say,
yes, please go ahead.
that
And you must have experienced
I
it as
think
well.
let's move on because of the paucity of the time. Let's move on to other important topic, in
Yeah,
which
go
is
ahead.
that how to create a safe spaces, right? So we talked about that harassment is not a gendered issue. Shahzad and I agree on that, right? Anyone can face harassment out there,
exactly.
right? Be it the male, female, girl child or a male child, right? So now let's talk about how to create the safe spaces where people can go and address themselves, and especially the matter of the fact is that there are a lot of people out there that don't go, and I would specifically say women who don't go out of their houses because they feel that the space is not safe for them, right? And because of the notions of the honor that comes in, and their gharwala feels that it's not appropriate for them to step out, right? So how can we create those safe spaces apart from the provisions in our law or in protection that is implied in the state? So what are some of the
like
safe
for example,
spaces?
if we see the federal ombudsman,
Right.
that I have seen that the victim and the other party are in front, and they are discussing, like, but the irrelevant people are also sitting there, and they are taking, some people are taking pictures of them. That I think personally that it should be confidential, so that they can easily express their feelings and the facts.
Their
what-
executive secretary general was over
Yeah,
here on
yeah.
the show just yesterday, Mr.
Yes, but
Almas Ali
and
Juveda.
they should report immediately to the police station. But first, if you are harassed in a workplace or in a factory or in a neighborhood or something, try to discuss it and communicate it with your family member, with your friends, with your neighbors,
Okay.
immediately.
Right.
And then if you feel you can go to the police station, ombudsman. We have different platforms, online desks, and the committee rooms are also.
And what makes a case strong? Like, what sort of evidence will make it strong? So if anyone is experiencing harassment, regardless of the gender, right? So what is the first thing that he should do so that his case in the court of law can be very strong? As an advocate, what do you recommend?
First, I said that you should be that much strong that you refuse or say no to. Try
Yeah,
to practice
if the no is not
yes,
working,
yes,
right,
if
then-
the no
then-
is not working, then you should like go to the police station or report in a written or online. You should do this to stop
Do you
the.
think they can actually kind of use a little bit of aggression as well, or slap the other person? Or probably, you know, because if somebody is not stopping and you're in a
Yes,
dangerous situation.
we should train our females and children's, and this should be like to teach as a subject in the schools, that the pupil and women are
to
aware of the
protect, yes.
and we should also taught them in our home.
Yeah.
Like
Karate sikhai. Yeah, something like that.
Yes,
I think
Tripura,
some
there-
sort
yes,
of
there
self-defense
are,
needs
yes.
to be taught, right?
it's not bad if you can.
Yeah.
Yes, and like you should
Then
be.
again, what sort of the evidence will be strong in the court of law? Please go
You know,
ahead.
do you think we
There
need
is
to
not
have
such
mobile
evidence,
recordings?
but the immediate, like when you discuss someone, he is the as a witness, he may be, or you can some if it's a physical harassment, you have some proof,
Witnesses,
yes,
yes.
witnesses physical
Or-
on your body,
or do you
and
think
you
that-
have the verbal like text, and the cybercrime is the main playing main role, and FIA is the playing main role in the stopping and taking
And
action against.
are videos admissible as witnesses?
Yes, or videos or text or phone recordings, calls,
Okay.
etc. Try to collect as much as text
Or
or
evidences, yes.
voice recordings related to this. If you feel that somebody is harassing me and repeatedly he is doing the same.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Ms.
Thank you
Asma,
so
for
much.
being with us. Lovely
Thank
to
you
be
so
in
much. Thank you.
conversation with you.
Nice
For
of you.
everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, just like we say the charity begins from home, we really need to say that safety begins from home as well. And for each and every individual of your family, really, or every citizen of the country has this right to themselves, that they feel safe, that they feel as if that they're free, they have that freedom to enjoy whatever. And there are people, you know, with such mindsets where, you know, patriarchy, we have said, spoken about it as well. And we really need to get out, if we really need to get rid of it, then there needs to be examples out there. And such examples will highlight and will reach out to other people all over the globe, that if, God forbid, they indulge in such an activity, there will be serious consequences. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, it was a humble initiative of ours. We're going to speak about it today. We will continue to do so. Until next time, look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Have a great day.